Welcome. So in this video, we look at status reports. And I've created a sample here for the week of the 23rd. And status reports are composed of a parent record called a status summary record for the week, and then multiple child records for each individual work stream on the program. And each work stream reports its status through a status indicator, making the collection of them the overall status report. What you see here is a representation of each work stream, the 4 work streams, each submitting their status, and a overall program and PMO status report as well. The two combine together to make up the whole. In the status report, you have these red, amber, green indicators for schedule, budget, scope, and resources, and then trending. Trending is kind of a judgment call. It's up, down, or stable, and you can change that from week to week as you wish. So let's go into the first, the PMO status report, take a closer look at that. Here you have the basic information about the report name, the week ending, draft, which I'll come back to in a second for the status. And then we start off with an executive summary, giving an overall red, amber, green rating to the program, and then a summary statement of what the big issues are, the big rocks, the big successes, an executive summary for leadership to use if you want to create a secondary slide deck for them to report to executive management, say, on a monthly basis. Then we get into the red, amber, green for the schedule, budget, scope, and resources. In here we have a pick list that is a 1 to 10 pick list, kind of like a 1 to 10 pain chart at the doctor's office. And it allows you to describe with a little more subtlety just what the situation is with that particular attribute of your work stream. So 1 through 3 are going to result in a green, 4 through 7 are a yellow, and then 8, 9, and 10 are red. And if you were to, say, pick something that was yellow or red, then it will a validation rule will require that you provide a reason for that to explain why it's yellow or red. The schedule path to green is optional if you have that ability to fill that in and describe what you're going to do to mitigate that risk. I'll say we're just running late for now. And then we go further down, and you'll see we have a more detailed section for accomplishments and plans for next week. And this is where the real status exists. You can write to your heart's content. This is a rich text area. It's as long as it can be. So usually starting out, work streams will have just a few items, but then as you get into later stages of the project, you might have a lot to discuss here with your status. So I've noted here, like this is the PMO status report. They might want to give a couple of updates on the program overall, as well as the specific activities to the PMO. And then you've got plans for next week, where you're describing the work to be done coming next week. I would encourage you to use the accomplishments section to describe the work that has been completed. Work that's been done and is still in progress should show up in plans for next week, and reserve accomplishments for only things which you have truly completed. The caveat to that might be when there's a significant milestone of starting something or launching something, you might want to note that here. But attending meetings is not an accomplishment. So keep the white noise out of the status report or put it in the plans for next week if you plan to continue doing something or extended work into the next week, so on and so forth. So I'm going to hit save, and then you'll see this changes to yellow. It does show the prior week indicator, so you can see if anything has changed with this week. And then that constitutes the draft or the creation of the status report. What I want to do next is submit this for approval. And the idea is that the project manager will typically write the status report for the work stream and then submit the status report for approval to whoever the lead is on that work stream, the head of the PMO or the head of each work stream. You want those people accountable for the status. They review it, they approve it, and then it becomes locked in. We lock the record so that the status is preserved and memorialized over the course of the program and not subject to editing and change thereafter. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to submit the status, and I'm going to submit it to myself because I don't want to log out and log in as a different person. And then I'm going to say, please review and approve. Gosh darn it. Okay. And then we hit submit. Right away, you'll see that a chatter message is posted for the approver. The submitter and approver fields are visible now and filled in. And this record has been sent to the approver for approval. I'm the approver, so I now have the buttons approve and reject status that have appeared. But if I were, if I'd sent this to someone else to approve, I personally would not see these buttons, only the approver would see them. Likewise, the record is now locked because it's in the approval workflow and is only able to be edited by the approver at this point. So if you need to make changes to the record or somebody else on your team wants to make an update, there is a recall capability that the submitter can click to pull the record back to draft status, make those changes, and then resubmit for approval. But and likewise, the approver can reject it back to the project manager if there are extensive changes that are needed. They can make their own changes, the little wordsmithing changes, minor adjustments if they so choose, and then they can go and approve the record. So I'll approve it for now. They can make an additional comment when they approve. And then you'll see that a chatter post from the approver back to the submitter that this is now approved. We're in the final state of approved, and the record is locked for any changes. If we go back to the status summary, we can see now that all of these records, what their current state is. This is approved. We've got territory management approved. Integration is pending approval, meaning it's been submitted. And then we have 2 in draft. The workflow around or the cadence, I should say, around your weekly status is up to you to decide. What I've typically done is status is due in draft form on Thursday by midday, and then it should be submitted for approval and approved by the workstream leader by end of day Thursday. And then on Friday, we have a readout meeting where the leads of each work stream provide a verbal readout of their status report. And you don't want them reading their status report, but what they're supposed to do is kind of synthesize and summarize into whatever their big rocks are, supported by the content that they've already documented in their status report. So you can have a productive conversation around those risks and those dependencies between work streams, the things that matter to be discussed amongst the work stream. I'll leave it to you to decide how you want to do it, but that's how we have typically approached it. Now, if you look at this status summary record back here in the work list, this parent record is created every Monday morning automatically by the system so that it's out there and ready for whenever the work streams want to start creating their status for the week. If you, and you'll notice that this week ending is structured around Fridays. Every Friday is the week ending when we report. If you have a different approach, a different cadence, say you want status reporting due on Wednesdays, you can change the flow to support that so the week ending date is always reflected on a Wednesday. The naming convention here is the program name concatenated with the week ending date. If you want to change that, that's available to be changed as well. And the place that you do it is in this flow, create status summary record. And you go down here, it creates a status summary for every program out there. There's probably just your one program, but it will create them for all programs. And then in this one attribute here, you map the status to summary attributes. If we open that one up, you'll see here in this variable assignment that it's taking the name of the program and the week ending date, and that's where it's creating the name of the record. So that's the field that you want to modify if you have a different naming convention that you would like to use. Also, if you want to change the week ending date to reflect a different date other than Friday, then this is the formula here that you want to go ahead and manipulate. So, for instance, when we changed it to Wednesday, we just used the current date of Wednesday and then changed the arithmetic here so that whatever day you run this script, it will set it to Wednesday instead of Friday. So this is the formula that matters as far as the week ending date that it places in there. All right. With that, you should have everything you need to create your status report. And thank you very much.